Hey, welcome back to the Gadget Spot.
I hate that 5 seconds of silence. I hate it so much.
Well, is it hard for you, James, to be quiet for 5 seconds?
It taunts me, but I also have to not do anything. No, my C batteries!
He says as he crinkles plastic into the microphone.
Hey, we've all been there. I picked up a GPU a few episodes ago, and I continuously click in the background of the episode, so...
Touchscreens. Everything should be a touchscreen. No more clicks.
Sometimes I have to message Owen in the Slack or in the Zoom and say, "Stop clicking!
Stop clicking, you idiot!"
Wow, that's mean. Tell him.
Well, he added the "you idiot" part. I usually just use a couple exclamation points. It gets the point across.
But it's the same. But see how he didn't deny the point? It's still the point.
Oh yeah, for sure.
There's so much pleasure in saying the words "you" and "idiot" together. Oh, it's great.
No, it makes me feel kind of bad because it seems really mean.
Moron is a very...
James, put the package down, you idiot.
Yeah, see?
That was just mean.
Oh, it does hurt.
And he's still not doing it. It's horrible.
That was the last package I had to open. For right now.
Until later.
Can you hear me doing this?
Yes.
Really?
You have a lav mic on, dude. Those things are sensitive.
How about what if I switch to this mic? Hold on. Hold on. We already took levels. I can do this. You'll hear me twice.
Quit it.
Check. Can you hear me now? Do I sound good?
Ooh, that sounds actually a lot better.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'll just
Much more full.
No one listened to me earlier when I said that James sounded kind of muffled.
No, he didn't sound muffled. He sounded
tinny.
Thin. A little thin. All right, there's your peek behind the curtain. Stuff we should have done before we started the episode, dear listener.
We could just always restart it.
Nope.
No.
We're already this far. James is really quiet now.
Really? Awesome.
Maybe you're just talking back from the mic. Get up on there.
Look at how much I'm doing stuff.
Let's go ahead and introduce the panel. Owen, you first.
Oh yeah, I'm always first. Well, not always. There's
not
been a
always.
few.
Yeah, but this time you're first.
Yeah, I'm first this time. Hey everybody, follow me on Twitter @TechNoan.
Are you actually tweeting?
No.
Okay.
But I'm lurking.
You can lurk
quite savagely.
You can lurk behind the lurker. That's like double lurking level.
I've got 2 whole walls of lurker. So I only follow lurkers that lurk on other lurkers.
Who lurks the lurkers?
Don't worry about that. I'm sure there's levels behind me.
Indeed. Jarron, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Jarron.
Bringing really bringing the energy today.
Man,
this is Jarron.
You're really representing for the Eeyore crowd today, aren't you?
I think Tony's been watching some Rick and Morty. Sounds. I got that Rick and Morty flair in the background there.
The last episode, the Vat of Acid episode, was pretty great.
Oh my gosh! The Prestige episode.
Yep, pretty great. Jarron, introduce yourself.
I did.
No, you just said hi.
And then I said I'm Jarron. And
you can catch him on Twitter.
My name's Jarron on Twitter as well.
@Jarron.
There you go.
Jarron.
James, go ahead and introduce yourself and turn your mic up a little bit.
Okay.
He sounds really bad.
Jeep. Turned it up. You can catch me on Twitter @JDD Jensen. JDD is for ADD. I'm going to have to compensate for Jarron's low energy today because I'm going to be good. And we also have a host. His name's Tony.
Hey, I'm Tony. Check me out on Twitter @QuadTTony or on the Geek Show podcast.
That intro sounds like a little bit of a train wreck. I'm just going to put that out there.
Oh, yeah.
I hope that this is somebody's first episode.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Hopefully.
I hope it's somebody's very first episode.
Maybe they'll come back. Maybe they won't. I don't know.
While we're on this tangent, we should talk about Patreon.
Yeah, that's right. The people that always come back because they're the best. Our
Hey,
Patreon
if you guys
backers.
if you want to donate to our show, go to patreon.com/gadgetspot. I'm trying to liven it up just for the Patreon people.
I could tell.
Because they're nice to us.
They deserve it.
And if you donate $6 or more, we read your name on the show as a big giant thank you and shout out to the awesomest people in the world. And so here we go. Big thank you to AJ Jasper, David Broshinsky, Austin Beauregard, and Aaron Young. Thank you guys. And then thank you to Brian J. Vander Zowen III. Oh, I love that name. Aaron Langford, Crod Gilbert, Dick Messerly, Splinter Hardware, Adam Hecht, Ryan Baker, Aaron Faulkner, Graphic Escort, Adam Foote. I wonder what Tom thinks of Jarron's Fabio-esque flowing locks. That's a name, if you guys couldn't tell. Ryan, Michael Beck, Wiffleball Tony, Conrad Southworth, Matthew Bailey, V for Valentine, and Twyman. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you so much, Patreon backers. You help keep this show rolling.
Tony, look at my battery collection.
That is a lot of batteries.
Yeah,
Like-
I still have more room.
If 13-year-old you talk to you now and you're like, one day you're going to trade in your Pokemon card holder for a battery holder, he would slap you across the face.
This is 13 hours worth of gaming time on a Sega Genesis, on a Sega handheld.
You wish. That's more like half that, maybe 5-6 hours tops.
Yeah, that thing burned through batteries, and it took 6 at a time.
Yep. All right. Let's see. We need to give a shout out and a plug to Biobidet because they are great and they have a bunch of great products that'll clean your tushy.
So I dropped
Water
a jar.
does it better.
I dropped a jar of peanut butter in my garage a few months ago. This is a true story. And I got a lot of paper towels to try to wipe it up, and it was a nightmare.
Yep.
Now imagine if that concrete floor was actually your butt flesh.
Butt
Ouch.
flush?
Your butt flesh.
Oh.
Flesh.
And the concrete was
Use
also coated with carpet.
Use a fire hose to clean that.
Yeah.
Much better.
So use code GadgetSpot at biobidet.com and get 10% off whatever it is you're purchasing there, and it even stacks on any sales they're having.
Yeah, probably a good time. Probably some Memorial Day sales coming up, right? Maybe you'll be able to stack. Maybe you'll stack some deals there.
Yeah, I don't know, but could be.
Maybe.
You got to try it
out.
yourself.
Better check it out, biobidet.com. All right, and do we have any emails this week?
We got one.
All right.
From our friend Lang.
Hey, Lang.
I love Lang.
He says, I've
love
been
lamp.
shopping a little bit through Indiegogo and Kickstarter, and there was a phone I'm really tempted to invest in. I talked to Owen a little bit about it, and I figured I'd bring it to the entire panel. Owen, you didn't set him straight already? Look up the Astro Slide on Indiegogo and let me know if it's worth the early bird price and waiting 10 months.
That's not the kind of Astro Stride I know.
Let me say...
That is poor
Glide.
marketing.
You're thinking of Astro Glide.
Either
I mean-
poor marketing or great marketing.
Hey, yeah, is it only one letter difference here? Is that where
Yeah, it
Astro
is.
Yep.
Slide?
Yep, and it's one word.
It's like the sister company to Astroglide?
Or is
So
it
even-
the brother company?
Ooh.
Even
Who
if
knows?
this phone was the best spec phone in the world, I would still not buy it on Indiegogo because it's an unknown company. Well, they might be somewhat known, but if they're on Indiegogo, that means they really haven't built this particular type of device before, and they're trying to get money to, help fund it. And hardware is a really hard thing to do. Very hard thing to do.
Even Google admitted it in a article I saw the other day where they were interviewed about the Nexus line.
I just don't know
said-
if I can.
They said, "Yeah, we're keeping the Pixel line. We're keeping the Pixel around for a while. Also, hardware is hard."
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
And
main guy's like, look, those guys, you know what? Be gentle on those guys. Oh, yeah, they're also leaving the company. Yes.
Yeah.
this particular phone, it's a horizontal slider. Remember those?
Yeah.
So I think this hardware is even more particularly hard than other hardware because you got a sliding mechanism in there that can't fail over thousands and thousands of uses. Yeah, I would just not. I would stay away from it personally.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah. So that was my problem, is that I couldn't get back to. So it has two aspects. It can slide up, or it can flip open. So I think it's got screens on both sides, or maybe it slides and then
think-
pops up like a laptop.
Yeah,
Anyway,
it pops
has
up like a laptop.
Yeah, there's a GIF
Yeah.
of how it works further down.
I just couldn't get back to anything mechanical like that.
No.
Like I used to have that Windows phone. What's that one that slid up and down? And I also had the G1.
The Sidekick?
It wasn't the Sidekick. It was It was the Windows phone that was like that, like the slider or rocker or something. Anyway, I can't remember.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know. Like, I got that phone brand new, that Windows phone, and then I went to the sand dunes that weekend, and I was just terrified the entire time because, like,
Get crud in the hinge.
one grain of sand in there, and you've got that crackle. Like 3 grains of sand, and it's toast, and the bearings are toast, and so I don't think I could ever go back to anything mechanical.
Yeah, another big problem with this too is they're using a MediaTek chipset, which is a Chinese, like a Chinese knockoff of Qualcomm stuff. It's never as good, and by the time it comes out, it'll be a year old. The chipset, so
That's nuts.
I would just stay away from this.
I used to have a horizontal slider back in the day. It was the HTC Arrive. It was a Windows Phone 7 phone. And I thought I'd use it, a lot, but I never did because it took effort to slide it open, and you'd have to turn it to landscape. And you know what's really good nowadays? Software keyboards.
Especially with all the slide options on the keyboards. Slide typing is really good, if you ask me.
I have a quick tech question pertaining to what we're talking about.
We're waiting.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, I have the floor. Sorry, in Corona times, I'm waiting my turn. I'm being very patient today. Jarron, I hope you notice. I'm doing this for you because you seem a little blue. And I'm going to do whatever I can to turn you back to red.
It's just the lighting.
Oh.
It is kind of blue lighting in here.
Oh my gosh.
So blue.
Okay, so if one dog year is actually like 7, what is it in tech?
Well, I mean, it depends.
Because like you were talking about how that hardware is going to be a year old. So is 1 human year 3 tech years?
You usually get about 1 year-ish per generation. And
so it's 24?
However long a generation is in human years, is that 24 years? So there you go.
I mean, and it's really perspective too, right? Like, it could be the opposite. Like, if you're getting something that's new, you could get 4 years of use out of it, right? So you don't have to have the new thing. It could be the opposite.
Man, I was really hoping for an exciting answer from you guys. That one was just kind of...
Yeah, sorry.
Nah, that's fine.
Anyway, there you go, Lang. Don't touch it. Get a one.
Keep your hands to yourself.
That's advice you could use for all over your life.
I was talking to him. I was like, I was kind of scared to move away from the Pixel phone. I really had my heart set on the Pixel 4, and then it came out, and it was kind of a big steamy turd. And so I went with the 7 Pro, the OnePlus 7 Pro, and so I didn't get the higher sock, but man, I've just really enjoyed this phone.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only thing that really bothers me is the screen protectors that they have for those aren't very good. You have to, if you really want like the full Gorilla Glass screen protector, you gotta like do the UV adhesive. It's really hard to get one that's decent.
I've done a bunch of those when I had Samsung phones, and until Samsung started putting the fingerprint reader under the screen, I would always recommend those UV curing tempered glass screen protectors. But any phone that has an underscreen reader, fingerprint reader, almost all the screen protectors screw those up.
Yep. Even this one, even the OnePlus, I've had a little bit of a headache with it, but for the most part, I mean, I probably get 90% of my hits on it are good.
With Samsung, and even after I relearned it with the screen protector on, I was still failing half the time, 40% of the time.
Yeah.
It sucked.
That sucks.
But the Oxygen OS on these OnePluses are great, so can't recommend them more. I switched over from the Pure Pixel, and I don't feel much of a difference. It doesn't have that Samsung bloat. Plus, the screen refresh is pretty fantastic.
You say it's called the Pure Pixel?
No, he's saying he switched over from the Pure Pixel experience.
Yeah, like the Google, like I was Google
vanilla,
yep,
Android, etc.
It's one of the selling points of the Pixel line is they're like, this is pure Google, pure Android, blah blah blah.
I was kind of weirded out if that's like an actual name, like the Pure Pixel. It's like they have created the ultimate phone. It is perfect in every way.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to touch those jokes. All right.
No eugenics on this podcast,
Nope,
mister.
nope. All right, so we got several stories here. A lot of quick ones. It looks like there's going to be, and a couple ones that are
I
going
gotta
to
add my story.
inspire some discussion.
Let's do games first.
Yeah, let's. I was going to talk about some game stuff. You want to start with games?
Start with games.
I don't know about that.
Come on.
Well, when you put it that way, how could I say? Yeah, so convincing.
I knew it would work.
You know what, Jarron? When you're bummed, you kind of sound like that robot from
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yeah.
I'm really glad you didn't say me right there. That you didn't sound like
You sound like Owen when you
Yeah,
That one robot from Owen.
No, can't
Live?
go back to it.
Dang
You
it.
can't go back to it. I'm just really glad it didn't happen.
Joke
Just-
already got made. Yep,
Yep.
we can't make it again.
We can try though if we believe in ourselves.
No.
All right, we'll do games real quick. We'll start with Owen.
Hey, I've been playing a game. I've been getting violently motion sick, playing Metro Exodus.
This guy taking one for the team. Look
That's
at
right.
you.
I played. So it takes me about 8 hours of playing to get over it. Anything in that would, I don't know what it is, but as soon as my hands connect the motions of the controllers, so that my brain knows what's going to happen when I move my thumbstick, it's over. And so today I played for about 2 hours instead of working, and yeah, I only have a mild headache that could also be from lack of caffeine, which I'm solving right now.
Hey.
And so yeah, I'm about 7 or 8 hours into Metro Exodus now.
Oh, that game is so good.
Yep,
yeah.
that's a fun game. I
Yeah.
really liked it.
I've been getting used to. I don't know if I prefer daytime or nighttime adventures because
Daytime.
I feel like
Nighttime too scary.
the
Nighttime too scary.
The monsters at night have been pretty bad.
Yeah,
and I got
if you-
picked up and dropped off a bridge by this stupid bat thing, and I was just like, you know what? I don't want to play anymore.
Oh, you met Batman.
So, yeah.
No, that
So-
was Man Bat.
Man
What?
bat.
What?
And I couldn't kill it. I couldn't kill him. I put every clip of
Yeah.
ammo I had into that fool, and it didn't kill him. And then I was like, you know what?
You
Just
wasted all that
I
ammo.
know. And I was like, you know what? Just kill me so I can get my ammo back. Whatever.
You know what I love about Metro Exodus is like it makes you like work for your ammo, but it's not like one of those survivor games that like when you have ammo, it's so precious that like you hoard it and you don't want to use it. You actually use your ammo.
I
but-
do that though. I still
precious.
hoard it. I will literally put myself in harm's way to go through somebody's pack. Like I was getting shot at, and I'm like, well, but his stuff.
Well, you're
And
supposed to kill the person shooting at you first, and
I
then
ki- I
look
kill-
through the pack.
I killed him, but then some other fool up on this watchtower saw me, and I was like, but I gotta get his pack first.
So here's something you'll learn. You find a lot of junk in that game, like crafting materials,
Yeah.
and it's pretty cheap to craft bullets. So if you feel like you're getting low on bullets, just use some of those crafting materials and make yourself some bullets at the workbenches.
Yeah, I got the gunsmith Xbox award for
Nice.
for putting guns together and making
Yep.
stuff.
Dude,
So-
I wish I would have listened to Tony earlier. He gave me the advice to invest in the BB gun.
That's
And
what I
I
did.
wish
Yeah.
I wish I would have invested. I never played the BB gun, like ever.
BB gun was the
Yeah.
best.
the
gun.
Tarksar or whatever, Tarksum, whatever it is. That thing's quiet and it kills
Yep.
people really good.
Yep. Great gun.
Listen,
Yep.
I like how you talk like you're from Southern Utah. Kills people real good.
Kills-
Kills them real nice.
It's
Real
a real
good.
good gun. It fits my hands good.
It's good. It's got that thing that you pump the piston and it makes the
So-
bullets go pew pew.
But
It's, like,
the thing
it's
is,
basically like my Crossman air rifle BB gun that I had back in the day, except instead of BBs, it shoots ball bearings.
Yeah.
You know?
I've been taking stuff out from like 200 yards away with
Yeah,
that thing.
yeah,
Like
it's
I'll just
fun.
be like, oh, there's like a little cat thing over there. Plop.
and it's stealthy, you
Yeah.
know. So
Oh, it's
yeah,
so nice.
Which is-
it's
which
it's
is-
my favorite weapon in the
which
game.
is what I've learned is key to avoiding man bat.
Yes.
is stealth.
you
So-
actually you'll fight him a couple times. Don't worry.
I'm excited to
don't
see if you get the
remember
good guy
Man Bat.
ending or the bad guy ending. Because I
have
didn't
you-
know there was consequences.
Have you made it to the desert area yet?
No, so I'm at the forward base. I still haven't even got the passenger car yet.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah, you're going to get to it. The desert area was the place that first, of all places, the brightly lit daytime desert area was the first place that gave me my real jump scare in that game.
Really?
Oh, good.
Yeah.
It took that long?
Yeah.
I'm going
it
for
did.
I've already been scared multiple times.
Man, you're a hardened man right there.
But yeah, I'm going for the good ending. So stealth and knocking people out versus just
Oh, that
killing
doesn't
them like-
matter.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No,
They
you
said-
can.
they
No, it
said-
doesn't matter how many people you kill. It only matters if you complete the side quests and help
Oh.
people.
Yeah.
There were so
and
many
how-
people I stealthily didn't kill. It didn't make a difference.
No,
Oh,
it's-
really?
I still got.
you gotta
I
keep
still
your
went to
party
hell.
alive. Yeah.
Well, I couldn't
Yeah.
find the guitar. Did you find the guitar? I couldn't find that dang guitar. I searched all over that place.
No, you're
It's in a
screwed now.
basement.
But I'm
I
going to
think-
tell you that whole little side quest went sideways. I was stealthing in, and that all went sideways, and I killed every single one of them brutally. So with a vengeance.
There you go.
Owen,
Well,
I
cool.
think you would survive the apocalypse pretty well. I feel like you have what do they call that? The kind of switch that serial killers have?
Yeah.
Empathy?
Yeah,
and
I
it's
can
just you're
turn that
able
off.
to like turn it on and off. It's a toggleable thing for you.
It's a learned habit that I can just undo. Like when I'm mean to you, I feel bad only when I turn it back on, like late at night.
So
Yeah,
just
but
leave
you-
it off for a couple days and you'll be fine.
No, and then they all add up. They stack.
It stacks.
They
But the
stack.
thing is you're not like accurately mean to me. You're just sort of mean. It's been a while since you've been mean to me.
I really try not to.
See?
I don't want to be played on the podcast in front of everybody again. So
Oh, that did make you.
that was
You
enough
cut him deep.
That was enough vinegar for one Owen.
That made you like collapse into yourself like a snail's eye. Just a
Yeah.
little.
Like when you see a recording of you and you're like, "That's me." Oh.
I did that. All right. Well, cool. That's a fun game. I'm glad you're playing it.
Yeah, Metro Exodus. I've got. I took your guys' advice. I went and loaded up 3 years of Gold Pass
Yeah.
of Xbox Live Gold Live, whatever, and then converted it to Game Pass Ultimate. Still
That's
works.
the way to do it.
And so now I've got all these games to check
I gave
out.
you a big fat list of
Yeah, you
really
did,
good
and-
games to look
And I
at.
went and looked, and I was like, "Holy cow!" And I kept being like, "Well, I don't know." And then I would look at it, and I'm like, "Okay, that looks really, really good. I'm gonna have to play this." And then I go, "Is this how they feel all the time?" Because I don't have choice paralysis. I'm glad that I started Metro Exodus before I asked you guys, because I would have never been able to choose out of that list.
Yep.
Anyway, that's it.
I will
Right
say
on.
though, it is a little bit of advice I can give with Metro Exodus. I never played the first three games.
Me,
Two
me
games.
neither. Me
Two
neither.
games.
What I would suggest doing: hop on YouTube and then just watch like a TLDR like story recap. Because dude, if I didn't know they were in the same universe because of the title, they're completely different games.
Well, yeah.
Like the
that's
story. It's
that's why you
nuts.
don't really need to know what happened in the first two to enjoy the story of the third one.
No, it's like a completely different game. It's
So
nuts.
those are fun games too, though. I would put them down on your list underneath the other
I'll
ones.
get to them when I get to them.
Yeah, but I've played all the Metro games. I like them. I like them quite a bit.
Tell me what to do.
All right, Jarron, what have you been playing?
Oh, I've gone to the old standbys. I've
Battlefront
reverted.
2.
Battlefront 2.
I saw you playing that the other day.
And did that make you sad inside?
It did a little bit. I was like, you have so many other new games to play,
He's
Jarron.
back with her again.
Ugh.
But she's so pretty.
That's the thing. You know, you like what you like.
Your
But there's-
CDs
it's-
in her
it's
truck.
so
You can't
hollow.
leave. You know.
CDs. She's got my CDs. I can't leave her yet.
She's changed from when you first saw her, I promise. She's so much better now.
I own that
She's-
game twice, and I still haven't played it very much.
It's so sad and accurate, the stuff that you're saying, Jared.
I picked up the Celebration Edition for like $5 on Origin. So that gave me pretty much all of the unlocks. So there's like different paint colors you can put on your Stormtrooper armor now.
Oh boy.
Sounds worth it.
Yay.
It's like when you spend all those time getting to crates in the Respawn Jedi game. What's that one called?
Oh, yeah. Fallen Order.
Fallen Order. You spend all this time getting to these crates on the maps, and it's just different freaking tunics. Not tunics. What are they? Ponchos. Different
Yeah,
ponchos for your
ponchos.
character.
Yeah, but you're gonna wear the crap out of them, Tony.
I chose one, and I stayed with it the entire game, even though I unlocked probably
Never
20.
mind.
Also did a little bit of Control. Got
That's a
the
good
DLC from the Epic Game Store sale.
Me too. PSA that's
And,
going on right now, and you get $10 off every game you buy on top
Yeah.
of their sale prices.
It's pretty nice, but it cements in my brain that Control is the best looking, most fun game that's come out in the last few years.
Man, I gotta get back into that game. With the how you guys talk about, you guys don't give bad recommendations, and like I just
Why would we give bad recommendations?
no, I'm saying like you guys don't, and like I just do not care for that. Like the thought of getting back into that game, it makes me physically tired
Control's
thinking about it.
powers that you get, they're
Yeah,
just so fun to play around with.
Exactly. As you unlock more powers, you're gonna want to play that game more and more. It definitely builds on itself. Your Zoom froze, by the way, James.
Oh, I thought he was always smiling.
No, did you not notice how his mouth didn't move while he was talking?
That's how I like my
No.
James.
Your ventriloquism lessons are going really well. You been playing anything else, Jarron?
No.
No?
No,
All right. James, what have you been
I haven't.
playing? James?
James.
Yep. He bailed. Check him out.
Oh, I see his meter is no longer moving.
Yeah, you should go, Tony.
He is killing me this episode. Absolutely killing me. All right. What have I been playing lately? I haven't been. Oh, is that James back?
Yeah. I'm
Okay,
back.
there we go. All right, James, you go ahead and go while I remember what I've been playing
You know
lately.
what? If my video feed freezes, well, too bad. That's
Okay.
what I have to say about that.
Well,
Dude,
that's-
I've been playing the crap out of
nice.
freaking Modern Warfare so much that I finally reached level 93 of this season's Battle Pass.
Oh wow!
And I got the Tamagotchi watch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Are you
the
gonna
only-
go for the full 100 levels?
Oh, I don't care. After I got the Tamagotchi watch, that's really all I'm playing for.
That's funny because that's how I felt last season with the watch that I got, the one that has my kills and deaths on the screen.
There was a watch for sale in the store. I almost actually dropped cash for this. There was actually a watch in the store that it told you your steps in the game.
Your steps?
Yeah, I thought that was pretty freaking dope.
That's pretty funny.
My thing, though, is I don't know if I'm supposed to feed the Tamagotchi once it hatches because I don't know how to interact with my watch.
I think it automatically feeds it when you kill people.
Oh, is that what it takes?
I think you'll have to look at that, but I thought I read somewhere that's how it works.
Oh, dude. But that's... dude,
So you got to keep killing to feed your Tamagotchi.
Oh, dude, do you want to know what I say every time a new level boots up now? Oh, boy. Here I go killing again.
Here I go killing again.
I'm so freaking happy with that saying. But dude,
That's-
I love
I'm so happy
I
for
love
you.
that game. But they need to learn the word optimize and memorize it cuz dude, another 30 gig patch just dropped this
yeah.
week.
Every time.
It is
Now,
too
luckily, it doesn't take 30 extra gigabytes on your hard drive every time it updates. It usually adds 5 or so because it replaces a lot of files. It doesn't just add files. But
much. Yeah, you're right. I'm so glad that they're doing that considering
It's
they
still
already
crazy.
took up 200 gigs.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's still crazy because the size of the game is just massive. It's huge.
Yeah, it's pretty big. Outside of that, I've been playing Animal Crossing, but I think we're going to talk about that a little bit more when you talk about the games you've been playing.
Animal Crossing.
Because if anybody's been following me on Twitter at JDDJensen, you'll see that I traded 250,000 bells for 1,700,000 bells.
You mean, yeah, right. And you use turnips. Turnip.exchange. Yeah, we're gonna get to that. It was interesting. It was an interesting thing. I'm probably gonna do it again.
Yeah. What is we already talked about Jared. What you talking about? Owen, Tony, what have you been playing, bud?
Animal Crossing, and also I think honestly I don't think I've been playing anything besides Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Man, that game is good. Stop sleeping on that game, everybody, and go pick it up. There's sales going on all over the place right now. Spring sales. You can usually find Assassin's Creed Odyssey for like $15.
Do you do keyboard, mouse, or controller on
Oh,
that?
heck no. Controller on that game all the way.
Yeah.
It is so dang fun, though. I just, exactly like James, every time, James was saying about Modern Warfare, every time I come across a new army encampment, I just look at it and think to myself, oh boy, here I go killing again. And I sneak in and I assassinate everyone, and then eventually, halfway through assassinating everyone, I get caught, and all of a sudden I have to fight the other half of the camp all at once, and I take 9 times to beat them, but it's still fun, and the game's gorgeous, and the story's cool, and the voice acting's great. It's just it is a gem. I kick myself for waiting as long as I did to play it.
Is it the most fun Assassin's Creed game that you've played?
Yeah, I would say so, hands down. But I haven't played a whole ton of them. I played 1, I played 2, I played 2 part 1 or whatever. I started that one because they did Assassin's Creed 2, and then they did 3 stories on that character, like 3 games on that Ezio character. I only played the first one and part of the second one. But after that, I didn't play any other Assassin's Creed games, and there was like 5 in between there. So I guess my recommendation as far as best Assassin's Creed game goes doesn't hold much water, but as far as just great open world stealth or action games go, it's fantastic. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm about 25 hours into it, and I'm only about 25 to 30% done with the main campaign, it says. So you're definitely going to get your money's worth with this game. That's it. That's all I've been playing there. Okay, so let's see. There's some gaming news that we can talk about real quick before we get into some hardware stuff. We got some hardware news this time around as well. Number 1 on the list, let's talk about a new Paper Mario game, because there's a lot of people that love those games.
Yeah, I'm not one of them. I was just going to say a new Paper Mario game has been announced for Switch. It's coming out in July.
Great.
Kind of looks
job.
like what was that game that was on the Vita where you're like a little paper
Tearaway.
thing? Tearaway. Kind of looks like Tearaway to me.
No, you're
Which
wrong.
was a pretty good game.
Tearaway kind of looks like Paper Mario, because
You know
Paper
what?
Mario was around a long time before.
You're right.
Yeah, that's right. Did you see some of the screenshots on this look actually kind of different than the regular Paper Mario games, because they go from more of a Japanese origami style.
And that's what Tearaway is kind of. It's a little bit more of that style. So
And
that's
it
why
looks
it
pretty
reminded me of
cool.
it. Yeah, it looks fun if you're into that sort of thing. July. Coming out in July.
When you were reading it, did it say it's turn-based, isn't it? Pretty sure.
I don't think so.
All the other
I'm
Paper
back.
Mario games have been turn-based.
Okay. Paper Mario is the first video game that I've seen in a long time that I like immediately. I'm like, I'm pre-purchasing that game. I'm getting it. I'm more excited for Paper Mario than I am Cyberpunk.
Yeah, it says turn-based battles on the page here. So, you played a lot of the Paper Mario games, James?
Never played one.
Okay, why are you so excited for it then?
Dude,
This is interesting.
Have you seen that commercial? Holy are we allowed to play that kind of stuff on here?
I don't care.
Would any one of our 15
No one will be able to
listeners-
see it.
Hold on. I think I can actually pipe in audio. Hold on.
You might be able to get audio in, but nobody will be able to see it.
If they're watching
so
our video, they can't.
James
But
will,
anywho.
James will figure that out in about 20 minutes.
Yep, got it.
But yeah, I think it looks pretty cool. I'm curious enough that I'll probably end up picking it up. I haven't played any Paper Mario games, but I've played some of the Super Mario Brother RPG games, and I liked those. Those were fun on the Game Boy Advance, and it's similar style gameplay from what I can see. Also, game related here, Unreal Engine 5, which we talked about last time, still looks amazing, but Owen has an article here talking about how it has gone royalty free to an extent.
Yeah, so Fortnite, right? That's Unreal Engine.
Yep.
And that's wildly successful. And I think that they're really hoping for another one of those to emerge. And they think if if they maybe lower their barrier
Cost of
to-
entry.
Yeah, cost of entry, their barrier there. Maybe they'll get more of those, kind of like Netflix does with just throwing
Well,
money at any studio that'll put something up there, you know. So and then
They're the
maybe
makers of Fortnite themselves, so it.
Oh yeah, oh they are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they made the engine and they made Fortnite, but your theory still stands, and it costs them even less than Netflix because they don't have to throw any money at it. It's already made. They already
Yeah.
have the engine,
Right.
and they're already selling it to other companies. So
Yeah.
so if they just say, yeah, go ahead and use our development tools, and see what you can make.
Because that's the thing is that so they charge a 5% royalty fee or something like that. And the cool thing is if you like a lot of people are like, well, what if that'd be cool if I had known that, or they did this last year. I guess they're pushing this retroactive too back to January.
No way.
Yeah. So if you were a developer or like a game dev and you had some royalties taken out, I guess they're refunding those, or they just probably won't charge you going forward or something. Anyway.
Nope. James, whatever you did, you just made a big echo.
Sorry.
I think they're going like after Unity because there's a lot of
Unity is
indie
technically
games.
open source, isn't it?
Maybe
Maybe
I think
not
you still have to
open
pay for
source,
it.
but I think it's cheap, really cheap.
Yeah, a lot of indie devs will use Unity, and I mean this is a great option for indie devs because they don't have to put up any money at all until they're guaranteed to make money.
Right. And so once you hit 1 million on your revenue, that's when you have to start paying the barrier. Before it was 50,000. So
Oh wow, that is a huge
it's a
jump.
huge it's a basically it's free to use. I mean, and if you're until you're successful. So if you can't, if you're not, I mean, what would you consider success? 500,000? I mean, 750,000? I mean, at that point,
Yeah, that's fat stacks if you ask me.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm no game dev, so maybe I'm completely out of my depth here, but I guess pushing it out that until 1 mil, making a lot of people that code in that engine pretty happy.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Kind of just continuing their Epic Games' line of we want to
For the
gives
people.
devs more money and more options, so they keep using our stuff. you
Yep.
know? So, James, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Okay, good.
I don't want to keep troubleshooting this thing. I think I know how to do it, but it would make our
Yeah, don't
sound
worry about
kinda
it.
weird.
Okay.
Dude, but how can you hate on Paper Mario? That adventure
Who's-
looks
We're
awesome.
not hating on it.
Who's hating
I-
on Paper Mario?
Oh, I thought Jarron wasn't super excited for it.
Oh,
Doesn't mean I'm hating on it.
Jarron is ambivalent.
Yeah,
What? Is
Is that the right word?
I put the story in there after all. I knew
It
some
looks-
people would like it.
But like, think of it like this. Like, it's so cool. It's like Paper Mario versus like origami. Like, that's such a cool concept. It's like Little Big Planet meets Super Mario Brothers meets Tearaway meets RPG, like turn-based RPG. It's awesome.
Well, you should definitely pick it up and review it.
I don't think I'm gonna. I don't want to play it.
What?
What? I'm just kidding. I'm gonna play it. Yeah.
I was gonna say, come on now.
Just joshing you.
All right. Also in the games section, if you're a fan of the Serious Sam games, good news. As long as you're playing on PC or Stadia, the Serious Sam 4 game is getting released August 7th. It looks like, or the beginning of August, and the link that we put up here on our show notes has a couple of videos you can watch on it. It looks awesome. Serious Sam games are known for their just frenetic 90s style shoot till you can't shoot anymore kind of gameplay, just throwing tons and tons of enemies at you. And this one looks to continue that tradition, but even on a larger scale. That in one of the minute-and-a-half long videos on this article, they talked to one of the game devs, and they have this new engine that they've created, or at least a new aspect of this engine anyway, that is called Legion. And the game dev says they could literally have 100,000 enemies on screen at one time.
Wow.
So you're talking like that Rome game. What do they call that? Empire
Yeah,
of Rome.
like Total Rome,
Yeah, that's it. Total roam.
Except you play this one from a first person point of view, and you just mow everything down with big guns. And they showed a demo interspersed between this interview. They had B-roll of gameplay, and I don't know about 100,000. There was one 3-second clip in there where it looked like two armies running together that were going to clash, and there was easily 10,000 characters on the screen at one time. I would say.
Crazy.
Wow.
The gameplay they showed of you in your first person view with like a minigun mowing down characters. There were hundreds of characters coming at you at one time, and it looks really cool. Crow Team, the developer behind the Serious Sam games, has a history of being pretty innovative with their game engines and pushing the limits on what the game can do, not so much visually, but from a gameplay perspective and from like a AI perspective and stuff like that. And sometimes their AI is really stupid, and sometimes it's really smart. Like there's one bad guy, I can't remember what they call him, but he's a muscly guy in a t-shirt that has no head, just a stump, and he carries 2 bombs above his shoulders and just somehow creates a screaming noise as he runs at you. It's just a kamikaze headless guy with 2 bombs. You know,
Are you talking about that one Bomberman game?
Nope. This is called Serious Sam.
Challenge.
But it looks pretty good. Serious Sam 4. The one weird thing that I saw when they announced it today was it is PC and Stadia exclusive for an indefinite period. They said that it is going to come to consoles, but they don't have any sort of release date for when. So that was kind of weird. You don't see that very often anymore, where something's PC exclusive. Usually it's console exclusive. But anyway, I thought that looked pretty cool.
That being said, though, going back to what I was talking about before with Cyberpunk, holy crap, dude! I didn't know it was all the way September.
Yeah,
That's so far away.
It was supposed to come out in April, and they pushed it back another 6 months.
Can you imagine how much better quarantine would have been with Cyberpunk?
Oh. Sorry, I was imagining how much better quarantine would have been with Cyberpunk.
And did we mention that the Epic Game Store is offering Grand Theft Auto 5 right now for free?
Yeah, we talked about that last week.
By the time this episode's out, though, it won't be free anymore.
It won't be available for free anymore. But
the rumor is it'll be Civ 6 that'll be free.
What? For real?
Really?
I'm excited for that.
How did they give all that stuff away for? Oh, it's all the Fortnite money.
Yeah, they make
money.
fat stacks on Fortnite. I'm not a Civ guy, so enjoy that.
Oh,
it's just not for me.
Is it every week they give away another game?
Yeah, they give away a new game every. Lately, during this big spring sale that they're doing, they've been bigger games, and they don't. Usually, they tell you a week beforehand, this is going to be the free game next week. But this time, they put that big safe-looking door as the picture, and it's a mystery that they'll reveal right before it goes live.
Some good old marketing.
Yep, exactly. Also, game related, we have seen the data center version of the new NVIDIA graphics cards.
Yeah, so this was NVIDIA's announcement last week, and we were
incredibly underwhelming.
We were guessing that it would be not meant for us consumers, and we were right.
We were right.
But in all fairness, it is a really cool looking card. It's the biggest, most powerful card NVIDIA's ever made, of course. It's the largest chip ever produced on a 7-nanometer semiconductor process, which is kind of cool. So big card. It's meant for like AI type stuff. However, this is the beginning of the next generation, though. So they always start off with the high end, and then they bring it down lower and lower and lower. So I'm hoping in a few months we will see consumer cards that we can buy.
Yeah. This is so up until this point, for the last, I think, 2 generations, they've had a different architecture. At the very least, a slightly different architecture between the enterprise level stuff and the consumer cards. But this one is their Ampere architecture will be shared across all of their graphics cards, enterprise level as well as consumer level for gaming.
They're claiming a 20x increase in AI performance compared to last gen, and a 2.5% or 2.5x performance boost in the FP64 performance. So, I mean, there's no way we're getting a 20x performance boost in the consumer cards for like gaming stuff.
Yeah, no.
But maybe the tensor cores, which is what they're talking about here, maybe we'll see a bigger uplift there, so that ray tracing will work better. Who knows?
The rumors I've seen, and take these with a grain of salt, is that we'll see probably between a 10 to 20%, could be more, increase on regular rendering, on just frames per second and stuff like that. And supposedly ray tracing will have improved so much that you will not take a hit to run ray tracing versus not running ray tracing.
Probably with DLSS on, maybe?
Yeah, I don't know if I buy that.
But DLSS is so good now. Like, I'm playing Control on 1080p DLSS, and
you're
it's
playing it at 4K.
4K 1080p DLSS, and it's phenomenal, and the
Yeah.
performance is great, and it's ray traced everything pretty much.
Yeah, DLSS 2.0, which is what that's based on, is what DLSS 1.0 should have been. It's basically what they advertised when they said, "Look how great DLSS is."
Yeah.
And it wasn't that good until they came out with the 2.0. But now it is awesome now, no doubt about that.
It's really, really good stuff.
So yeah, that could be exciting. Hopefully, in the next 6 months or so, we'll see some GeForce cards with that architecture coming out. And real quick, a gaming company making a non-gaming product, Razer, has made some regular headphones for regular people.
What?
Not like gamery headphones. We talked about these.
Filthy casual.
Yeah, we talked about these a while back, and they were supposedly only going to be released in China. They're called the Razer Opus, and they're trying to compete with Sony and Bose and all those guys with the wireless, Bluetooth wireless with active noise canceling. And if you go out there and check out some of the reviews, I tossed a review in here from Gadget on the notes. They gave it 89%, which is pretty high from Gadget. To get into the 90s, it has to be near perfect. And most of the other review places are agreeing with the eights and above, and they're saying for $200, which is what these cost, you can't really go wrong with these. You got USB Type-C for charging.
Oh, right, because Razer bought THX from George Lucas.
I watched several interviews, not several, but a couple interviews, and read a couple articles about these phones. This headset. This is the one I just put on because it was kind of the most middle of the road about the headset. It wasn't too optimistic, but it also didn't dog on it, for no apparent reason, like some of the other reviews did that gave it in the 70s. But THX supposedly, these are all THX certified, but THX supposedly, even though they're owned by Razer, played no favoritism as far as reviewing these and certifying them.
Did you say that Razer is also owned by Sony?
No.
This is odd. Look at this.
Razer owns THX.
Yeah, but look at this. Hold on, let me put the boop. Look at how
Yeah,
close they look to this. They
look a lot like the Sony set for
they do
sure.
look like the
H1000s.
Sonys.
Very, very similar.
Yeah.
That's not a bad price. I'm gonna keep my eye out for a sale on these.
Yeah, 200. Apparently, for $200, you can't really get any better than these. They have very good sound, above average noise canceling, and above average, battery life too, with 25 to 30 hours of battery of time with noise canceling on. So, anyway, those look pretty cool. Keep an eye out on those.
$200.
Intel also fully released their 10th gen CPUs. And just like the last two releases, this is 14 nanometers, last hurrah.
Is this nothing? So nothing to write home about here again?
So here's they still do retain the crown for fastest gaming CPUs because their single thread stuff is still faster than AMD's. But the way they achieved that was they basically raised the power envelope on these CPUs really high and let
Balls
them
to the wall.
Yeah, and let them run really hot. So if you want to get all the reviews I've read about these says if you want to get the full performance out of these CPUs, you're going to have to invest in a 240 millimeter closed loop liquid cooler.
Just to run them.
Just to run it at full tilt.
Right.
Just to run it at full tilt to not get thermal throttled, and even then the temperatures are going to be pretty toasty.
Which means a lot of power consumption.
Exactly. So
Which means a bigger PSU and all that.
I put 2 reviews on the show notes. One's from Tom's Hardware, which goes much deeper into the weeds as far as how much power draw it has, its instructions per calculation, its heat generation, and all that. And then I put a review on there from Eurogamer, the parent company of Digital Foundry, that basically concentrates more on gaming versus rendering and office related, enterprise related kind of stuff that people use CPUs for. And it boosts really high. It boosts up to like 4.8 4.9 gigahertz on all cores.
Ooh.
But it makes a lot of heat. And Tom's Hardware said when it was stressing it was pulling 330 watts.
Oof.
Whoa.
Over a CPU, not a GPU. Even the GPUs these days don't pull 330 watts.
No.
The big ones. So, yeah, it is power hungry and makes a lot of heat. But the trade-off for that is it does have, it's got good performance for single-threaded tasks, for gaming, things like that.
It's like the muscle car of chips here then.
It is, yeah.
You give it more fuel, you make it a little bit less power efficient, but
you go faster.
A lot more power efficient, and you go faster.
Yeah.
Besides, when you play Doom, if your toesies get kind of cold, just nuzzle up next to it. It'll be
just
fine.
Put your feet up by your box, and you're good to go.
It's a space heater and a gaming rig.
So
it
you're
really
welcome.
is. But yeah, according to Intel, this is 14 nanometers last. They're not going to be on 14 nanometer next gen.
They've
They've been saying that for like 2 generations, though. The high-end i9 comes with 10 cores and 20 threads, and then you can get down to the i5 has 6 cores, 12 threads, and the i3 has, I want to say 4 cores, and you can get one with 4 threads or one with 8 threads.
What's that i9 coming out at price-wise? Are they pretty spendy?
Not too bad. You're looking at about $500, which would fall in line with the AMD 3900X.
Right.
But that's a 12 core instead of a 10 core. However, AMD's, without announcing it, has if you look around, their prices have gone down. You can usually get the 3900X for between $420 and $450 right now. Closer to $420 usually, $420. So
you think that's worth it?
If you're gaming 1080p, here's what I say. If you're gaming 1080p and you need every frame, if you're gonna play like a competitive style FPS, you got to go Intel still. They'll still put more frames on your monitor faster than AMD if you're going 1080p. Now, if you're going 1440p or 4K, that really levels the playing field out quite a bit on your CPU usage. And I would say go AMD because you're going to get more bang for your buck. But yeah, if you're going 1080p competition style gaming, you want 300 FPS, whatever, you got to go Intel still. So there it is. We'll see what happens with them.
Do you think they've been saying that they're going to jump off of 14 nanometer for so long because they weren't ready for AMD to
100%
to storm the party?
They had no idea AMD had this stuff up their sleeves.
Like they just kept going with this same line because they were like, no, we planned this to continue to go like this, and then AMD came in. They're like, oh yeah, we're not going to be doing this either. We're going to be on 7 nanometer soon.
Here's exactly what I think. This is speculation, but what I think happened is I think you're right. I think they had planned on I think they had no worries. They're like, oh, we can stand 14 nanometer for a while. It doesn't matter.
Milk it. Just milk it.
We can milk it until we perfect our 10 nanometer stuff. We don't need to push things. And then when AMD came along, they said, oh, crap. And then they started throwing more cores on their 14 nanometer stuff.
Right.
So,
No way, screw that. What happened was everybody's going through a blue door, and they're like, blue door is fine. And then AMD came, and they're like, nah, look what we got. And they're like, to the red door. And
oh, yeah, that's what the internet's doing for sure. Everyone's dunking on Intel right now, talking about how great AMD is. And they're right. AMD is putting out a much more compelling product unless you have to have that single thread performance and you're playing like Counter-Strike or Overwatch at 300 frames per second. So
or Modern Warfare.
Or Modern Warfare, I'm sure. Modern Warfare is a much newer engine, though. It utilizes multi-core a lot better than those other engines that we were just talking about, so it won't make as much of a difference on Modern Warfare.
Yeah, plus you got to be good at the game, too.
I mean, that helps.
That's my out right there. See, I'm not good at any of them, so I don't know what I'm missing if I play it at lower frame rates.
I don't know
There
what
you go.
happened. I feel like it's the one game that no matter how much I play, no matter how much more I play, I'm getting worse, man. I'm getting worse.
It's because they have leveling AI. So as you get better, it throws you in the stack with better people, right?
Yep, that's exactly what it is.
So
Is that really what it is?
Matchmaking based on skill level. Yep.
Yeah. So as you get better, you face
Better
you stay
opponents.
you stay at that same struggle. It's like somebody's spotting you. So they continually up the.
I want to go
player
back
level.
into Gen Pop, Tony. I don't want to be where I'm at. I'm not getting better.
You are. You just don't feel like you are.
So what you do is just go throw some matches, lower your stats, and then they'll put you back in the kiddie pool.
Well, here's the thing.
Or you
no.
can start a new account.
Yeah, but then I won't have my Tamagotchi watch.
That is correct.
And speaking of
I
modern,
worked so hard for that.
speaking of Modern Warfare, they did a big upgrade for anti-cheat, right? Like they did recently.
Yeah.
This newest patch was like a anti-cheat patch.
Well, but it wasn't like they implemented a whole bunch of stuff on the back end. They've done things along the way that have helped with that in that regard. But the big thing they did was they made two-factor authentication using
So you had
phone
to-
numbers.
Right, because people would just get banned, start a new account,
Exactly.
and come back in.
And apparently they also have the technical know-how to tell if you're just using a Google number, and they somehow link your Google number or your phone number with your hardware IDs, probably things like that,
Right.
so that they can just ban you within a round or two of your new account.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's,
that game's
it's pretty
hard.
interesting. They're doing a lot and making a lot of headway with the anti-cheat stuff. This is speaking of kind of cheating. OnePlus 8 had some X-ray vision issues with one of their filters on it.
I kind of followed those loosely since I'm kind of a OnePlus fanboy now.
Yeah.
And I didn't go read through it, but I was like, I don't know, like that's kind of strange. They have this thing called the Photochrom. That's the
filter.
That's the filter, and apparently that filter is able to see through some synthetics, some clothes, and some
Plastics.
and some plastics because of the wavelength of light that it's reading. It's picking up almost X-ray vision, and so of course that caused quite a stir. With X-ray vision being able to see through some clothing and some plastics and things like that. Privacy was the first one. People were like, "Are you looking through my clothes and whatever, my wallet?" I don't know. But then the next one was what frequency of what is that putting out that you're able to see through that? Like what digital frequency is coming through me to make this possible? And so, get a OnePlus 8 right now while you can, because they're gonna. If you wanna go take advantage of this, but they
already disabled it.
Oh, did they already kill it? I thought it was coming out. So they've disabled the filter in the app. but then they're coming out with a hardware patch in the next round of updates that will actually disable it on the phone permanently. So
they're doing an actual hardware revision to fix that?
Yeah, they're doing a patch. Well, it's a patch that basically turns it off, I guess.
Oh, so it's like a firmware.
Yeah, it's a firmware.
Okay.
So
Yeah, crazy stuff though.
The pictures are pretty crazy. There's a picture of an Apple, I
was thinking of the Apple TV, yeah.
Yeah, you can see right through the top of it. There's been some pictures where people take their TV remote and you can see the batteries. And I spent a not insignificant amount of time looking for some pictures of through the clothing. I did not find any. Wild results though. If you go and search Google,
sure.
or in my case, I went to the seedier side of the internet and searched in the Yahoo search engine for X-ray photos through clothing. That was poor choice. I needed to add the OnePlus search criteria in there.
Poor choice or
rather quickly?
Good choice.
Anyway, but I did not try DuckDuckGo. That was Tony's suggestion before we started. I was like, oh, right. But anyway, I did not find any results there, so maybe those are forthcoming.
There's one picture I did see, and it's
like the back of somebody's shirt or the back of somebody.
It's the front of someone's shirt with a box underneath it. It's Lou from Unbox Therapy, the YouTube channel.
Oh, right.
And you can see he's got an iPhone box, I believe it is, underneath his shirt, and you can see through his shirt to the detail of the box, like the picture on the box and stuff like that.
Yeah. They thought it would be a cool filter. Turns out to a backlash, particularly in China. They were not well pleased there. And
so Sony did this exact same thing in the 90s with one of their camcorders.
Yep.
And they had to do a recall because you couldn't do firmware updates back then.
It was a night vision mode.
Yeah.
On one of their camcorders. And it wasn't on purpose. It was an accident. Well, I think OnePlus is the same thing. I don't think they were like, hey, let's put this X-ray filter in.
Oh
here.
yeah, no, yeah.
It was just like someone was probably just using it, and they were taking a picture of something, whether it was a remote or whatever.
Their grandparents'
wait a minute,
wedding anniversary.
I could see through that.
Yeah.
So.
What are you talking about? It was a surprise. Mad Magazine has been trying to give us this for years.
X-ray vision specs.
X-ray vision, yep.
In Mad Magazine or in the back of really old comic books.
Man. I got breaking tech news, Tony.
What's that?
You got breaking tech news. Guess what? Do you have HBO Max? Do you got it? Do you got HBO Max?
Well, I will as soon as it converts over my HBO Go.
As soon as it gets the Snyder cut.
Dang it, Jarron.
Dude, this isn't breaking. This was like 6 hours ago.
I hope you guys are happy.
I didn't hear it. Go ahead, James.
No, you did hear it. Now you're pandering to me.
No, I'm not. I was excited for something new.
Let's do this though. Let's talk about this bad CEO article you have here, James.
All right, let's go from bad to worse.
Yeah, I read this the other day too, and this is bad.
Sorry, Owen. There's a bad seed in your cryptocurrency world.
Can you believe it?
What?
Yeah. There is a CEO from, unfortunately, Utah, from the Salt Lake area, who started a company. It's saltmine.co, who was arrested and charged with having, what does it say, 13,000 files of infant and child rape, bestiality, all that terrible, terrible stuff. Owen, without guessing, do you want to know how long his sentence? How long he was sentenced for?
213 years.
If only.
Man, that's a really good choice
specific.
on the number, at least. Yeah. But no, 210 days.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So obviously the internet found out about that. There's a big petition to petition the judge, but.
Well, honestly, I would say that this judge, he needs to be removed from office, or at the very least, don't vote him in.
Yeah,
next time he's up for election. How in the world can you justify a $10,000 fine No, that's not even what it was. It was supposed to be. At first, he was facing up to 15 years in prison, which I don't get how that's so low anyway.
Yeah.
And a $10,000 fine for each of the 3 second-degree felonies of which he pled guilty. So he pled guilty to 3 second-degree felonies. And
He pled guilty. See, that's the weird thing. And
yeah, it's like, oh, you admit that you did all this? Okay, well, here's a slap on the wrist.
well, the judge
Like-
backed it up by saying, "Well, we're gonna have him on probation though afterwards for 48 months." What does
What
probation
did
look like
do?
for that?
It just means he has to check in with his probation officer, and there's rules about like leaving the state and stuff like that. But
Yeah, so
Yeah.
he will also have to register as a sex offender
Which-
on the
Yeah.
sex offender registry, which that's life changing, but still like
he would have had to do that anyway. That's par for the course. And the other thing is it was 210 days in jail with credit for time served of 148 days up to this point while he was waiting for his trial, which that's normal. That's not anything crazy. They always they almost always commute a sentence based on taking off time
Right.
served. But
he wasn't creating the pornography. He just had it. They just
he had
found
it.
on-
He wasn't charged with like making and distributing. I don't know if you guys
Right.
remember. There was
that's a much bigger. That's
There
like
was a-
making and distributing is much bigger.
there was a
Consuming-
big sting
are
that
you
went
sure
down.
it wasn't distributing? I know. I
don't remember reading. I don't remember reading distributing. But the only reason
Okay.
why I bring that up too is, do you guys remember like 5 to 10 years ago when we had Operation Frosty Lime Squeeze? It went down through like the western states. That was insane. But it just sucks,
Well, here's another
Frosty Lime Squeeze. Wasn't that the downloader that like it was you would get?
It's an amalgam of all the names. So I can't remember what Frosty was.
Yeah,
Lime was LimeWire.
Frostwire, LimeWire. I actually know a kid that got caught in that, and
Oh yeah, I went to school with a kid that got caught too. Yeah, for
he- and
making
he-
and distributing.
yeah, he was just they caught him for just being in the wrong place at the wrong time. The kid is like super low IQ, and he was trying to download music, and he had downloaded the name files, and they got him to.
I thought that they can't really bust you for downloading, but they bust you for uploading. But
possession. No, possession is still illegal.
it's still illegal as well.
Yeah.
Uploading's worse, like you were saying, distribution. And the problem is a lot of people don't know that they need to. If they're using a BitTorrent, they need to turn off upload. You can turn off upload, and that way you're never.
That's what really got this kid that I know is that he was, because he used LimeWire. You're part of a peer network, and even
so
though
he
you're
was
not
just uploading,
even though you're not distributing the whole file, you're distributing pieces, and it's happening in the background in the swarm. Like they still nailed him on distribution,
Right.
Because and they're like, sorry. They basically just told him to confess, and they're like, yeah, just confess because it'll just be easier for you. And he's like 19 or 20, no representation. He just did it, and I felt really bad for him because I was like, oh, wrong place, wrong time, because that was right when they came after the LimeWire, FrostWire, ShareBear, all those. They nailed a bunch of people for distribution that were just downloading these honeypot files and stuff like that, just on that because torrenting and the swarm and that type of file sharing was all really kind of new. I mean, Napster had been around for a while, but like that kind of like peer-to-peer stuff was all really new, and so it was pretty crazy.
Well, what's nuts is when I'll say the kid's name is Mark Tingey. Like he's human garbage, but he's a guy that I went to school with that got busted for making and distributing. Mark Tingey's his name, and but what's interesting is I remember reading in KSL specifically that he appealed to the judge, and the judge basically just said, "That's fine that you can say all this stuff, but we have your search history. You specifically searched for these terms."
right?
You piece of human garbage.
Yep.
And it's just Anywho, so it shows that it affects everybody, and even like CEOs of like bigger companies like this are even susceptible to that. And,
Did you see further down in the article where it says, let's see, police also found, quote, disturbing videos of Douglas Saltzman engaging in sexual acts with several unconscious women. End quote. On
I did not read that,
man.
but I did.
So
read,
how is he getting off with 210 days? That is just, it blows my mind.
I mean, it sucks when you look up to Bill Cosby currently. You know what I mean? That's like your hero right now, and like this guy is such a. Well, and the thing is, in a different article, I remember reading something about he even made like bestiality as well, and that's just.
Well, and to that point, the adult industry, the adult film and video pornography industry, has really, really evolved since all this happened. And so, like, if you're on, it's actually very hard to find that kind of pornography now.
Yeah, you have to go out of your way.
Mainstream. Like, you can't accidentally bumble onto some of that usually on the internet. You have to know where to go. You have to most of the time it's all bought and paid for on the dark web, using cryptocurrency and weird, or they'll hijack some other app. Yeah, I've even heard of them hijacking games to go in there and make sales, stuff like that. So they'll use just gamers and games, and they'll go in there and have their meeting.
There was an episode of that Jack Ryan show on Amazon Prime with the dude from The Office.
John Krasinski?
Yeah, John Krasinski. That's what the terrorists were using to communicate between their cells, was a video game. They would get on a video game and do chat on the video game, and do their communication through that.
So it's really hard to accidentally, like, I have a hard time with people like, I don't know how I did that, because now, like, I mean, to name like Pornhub and stuff like that, they have really, really, really strict rules now, like industry rules and stuff that have been in place for years now, so they can't host that kind of stuff because No, I was going to say there's liable if they host it. Like, that could take down. That's a company ender.
Yeah,
right
and they're all about making money, and you can't make money if you're going to jail.
If you're in jail,
it's weird to say that site has like standards. They're like, we have standards.
None of that, please. No,
I will have none.
All of this with all of these things, but none of that.
No, get.
Yeah. So that was a crazy article. I read that the other day too, and it just left me shaking my head.
Well, it's like it always
210 days.
Other places too, it's always other places. You don't think like that stuff happens in your home.
It's in our home state.
Yep.
Which sucks.
Well, now I'm bummed.
So let's talk about something
like Paper Mario.
Something cool. The possibility of warp drive.
Yeah, probably not. But it's a Popular Mechanics article.
Is this the same one that?
What's happened to Popular Mechanics? Those guys, they used to be really cool, and now they're almost like they'll post anything.
No, this is a recent article. So I mean, there apparently are people in NASA that are considering it at a very, very conceptual level.
Yeah.
That's not anywhere close. But in the early 90s, Miguel Alcubierre, he had a theory about how we could achieve a warp drive in reality. Of course, this theory, it would require like an enormous amounts of energy, so much that
all the sun's energy.
Yeah, so much that there's no way we can even generate it. But there's been people have been evolving on that, and but NASA, I guess, is kind of thinking about it. So there's a NASA paper that's talking about it, and they suggest that this is something we could actually test within Earth's atmosphere. So we don't necessarily need to be what's that guy's name from Star Trek?
Geordi.
The guy
that invented the warp core.
Yeah.
Warp drive.
What is it? It's on the tip of my brain.
No. It was in First Contact, the best movie.
Yeah.
Yes, First Contact. I bet there's some listeners shouting at us right now.
Probably.
Anyway, that guy. So yeah, it's something that we could probably test within Earth's atmosphere. And so for those not in the know, a warp drive still respects the laws of physics where we're not necessarily going faster than the speed of light, but we're warping.
Cochrane.
Zephyrin Cochrane.
Zephyrin Cochrane.
That's such a Star Trek name, too, by the way.
For real.
So we're not going faster than the speed of light. We're just warping the space around us to make it seem like we're going faster than the speed of light. Yeah.
I love this line. By creating a kind of pocket world where a spaceship can operate seemingly outside of physics and using a huge amount of energy, the laws of physics can be sidestepped, or so the theory goes. This is something you would see in a Rick and Morty episode.
I created a universe. It powers our car. Also, it charges my phone.
So the funny thing about this, I mean, we're so locked by Einstein's theory of special theory of relativity, right? Like the speed of light is the if we go faster than the speed of light, all of Einstein's laws, all the laws of physics that we know, they break. But I don't understand why we need to go faster than light. I think that we just need to go like 1 mile less than light, and we're still within that's kind of what they talk about. They're like, if we got to the theoretical edge of that, we'd still be traveling faster than anything,
But we're like 4 light years away from the nearest star. Who wants to be in a spaceship for 4 years, and who knows if there's actually life?
Yeah, even to go
Alpha
to the
Centauri,
sun, what is it, like 8 minutes?
Or Proxima Centauri.
That's
8
true.
minutes.
That's why you want to go faster than light, so that we can get somewhere else without a generational ship. You know what I mean?
So we could go to someone else's world, exploit them.
Yeah, take their resources,
get their unobtainium, bring it back to Earth.
They were indigenous people. When we get there, we'll ask them if we are in India. It'll be fine.
Teach them capitalism, and then use that against them.
Watch their society crumble.
Mm-hmm. And
then destroy their big giant tree.
It all started with the spork.
Get that unobtainium.
Unobtainium. All right.
This is kind of similar to a theory I read about. I think it was also in Popular Mechanics, or it might have been Popular Science, about 10 years ago, where it used, obviously theoretic, but it used some sort of device that basically crumpled space-time in front of the ship. And by doing that, it created a low pressure in space-time that would pull the ship forward. And it could do it in such a way that would move the ship faster than the speed of light. Crazy stuff, but it was all obviously theoretical.
Yeah. See, and if we were going to do something like that, like Orson Scott Card, his way of explaining getting up to the speed of light is you actually have to slowly speed up to it in space. And so to me, that makes the most sense. The whole it's Star Trek where it's like boom, boom.
Well, that's the part. You'd have to slowly speed up, or else you would turn everyone inside into Jello, just because they would smash against the wall.
Oh yeah, particles of Jello. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no inertial dampeners.
Those don't exist. Those aren't real. Not to mention the lack of gravity. There's no gravity generators.
Also, none of that.
No, you just got to spin it around. You got to spin the spaceship.
Does that actually work? Question.
Yeah, that would for sure. If you could accelerate at 9.8 meters per second continually, always accelerating at that speed, you could simulate gravity by just having the floor be the wall.
Yeah,
that's how they do it in The Expanse. Great TV show, by the way.
That's
book series.
Great. They mentioned something in here called negative mass, which I think is just another word for dark matter, right? Like, isn't that the same thing?
Maybe.
Anyway. Like antimatter, if it's negative mass.
Yeah, they said if they could generate negative mass, they could test the theory.
I just want my own pocket world. If they're making pocket worlds, can I have one?
I would like just a small one.
Isn't that what a Tamagotchi is?
All right. Let's see. What else we got on here?
I got James's Gameses.
Yes. Oh, yes! Do we want to talk about turnip.exchange real quick?
Yes.
Or should we save that? Save that
how much money did you end up making?
I guess we're talking about it now. So turnip.exchange, James did it first, and then he got me on there.
I got you on there with a tweet.
Yeah, with a tweet, and I
spent
about
250 into $1 million.
I spent about 200,000 on turnips.
What currency are we talking here?
Bells. Animal Crossing. 200,000 bells.
Oh, this is an Animal Crossing thing?
Yeah.
thought this was
Yeah,
like
buddy.
an actual thing where you can make money.
You
Yeah,
can.
you make bells.
Dude, it's a
I
life
know.
sim.
Jeez.
What's the difference? It's a life sim, dude.
Technically, we're paying for it with our time.
And so I bought about $200,000 or bells worth of turnips, and then I went on turnip.exchange, and I was able to turn that into close to 1.2 million bells on some rando's island.
So you go to Turnip Exchange, and honestly,
Turnip.exchange.
Turnip.exchange, and honestly, when you get there, you're gonna think that you're missing something because it can't be that easy.
It is that easy.
It is just that easy.
I was in the
So
same boat.
somebody wants turnips.
Yeah, so basically it's this someone, I don't know the creators, but
They're
they've created this website where you can go on if you have your island is selling or buying turnips for a high price, you post it on there, and it has a queue. You put your name in the queue for that island if you want to go sell your turnips at that island.
Oh, I see.
And the person has basically this list of names that they go down one at a time, and they say, okay, here's my code to get on my island. It's your turn. You jump in.
Crazy.
Most of them will ask you for some sort of like payment for coming into their
Or, like,
island
tip.
and using it, like a tip or something. The guy that I sold at wanted 2 Nook Mile tickets. So if you play Animal Crossing, you know what that is. And then he steps out of the way so you can get past him, and you go into your Nook and Cranny store on there and sell your turnips.
So something Nintendo never envisioned is that
Not,
the
I
age
don't
of-
even think they
age
thought
of-
about this.
Age of communication would say, "Hey, like two friends, like, oh man, I sold my
That's-
turnips for whatever," and he's like, "Oh man, my world was selling them for buying
what?
them for three times as much."
The way that
I think they planned for that, but I don't think they planned for it at this scale because Nintendo
Right.
has no foresight when it comes to online games.
That's what I was
Right.
going to say. When it comes to online anything, Nintendo doesn't think ahead. Like, the online experience in Animal Crossing is so awful
It's
that,
poopy.
like, if I wasn't making, like, how long do you think in the game it would take you to make? You said you made like 1.2 billion. How long do you think in the game it would take you to make that much?
If I was diligent on trying to make that money just on my own island, it would probably take me 2 weeks.
Yeah. And this is turnips you can only buy Sunday morning. And the chances of you getting and turnip prices don't start buying turnips until
Monday.
morning, and they have 2 prices that they post every day. They have a morning price and then
yep.
an afternoon price.
Exactly.
And the chances of you getting a good return is very, very low. And that's you checking twice a day. Now, that being said, if I didn't make such a good return, it's such a bad experience.
No,
it's so bad.
It's a pain in the butt. To do my trade, it took me about an hour and a half to actually do it. So basically,
how do they communicate with you and tell you that it's your turn? Just message?
on the website.
Yeah, so technically
the first island I got into, I started in 11th in line out of like I think the queue got up to like 28, and by the time I got down to like 5th in line, all of a sudden a message popped up that said the island's been disconnected and the host is gone. So the guy stopped doing it. So I'd waited in line for like half an hour at that point, and it was gone. So then I had to go back in line at a different island, which wasn't giving as good of turnip returns, and I waited in that line for about half an hour, and they stayed on. I mean, it's that part of it isn't so bad because you put yourself in the queue.
It's
and
passive.
Then
You just
you
leave
go
it on.
do some. I played Assassin's Creed Odyssey until it was my turn, but then the actual act of getting to the island.
Okay, so
Ugh.
this is there's twofold ways that it's awful. One, just getting to the island. So what you do is you got to go to the airport. You talk to the dodo, and the dodo flies you in his airplane to the island. Now, when you're talking to the dodo about going to this other island to put in after you put in the dodo code, he radios the other island, and if anybody on that entire island is engaged in any kind of dialogue, it doesn't let you connect to their island at all. Now, once you actually connect and you fly into the island, anybody that's on the island, it stops what they're doing, and they have to watch your loading screen as you're loading into the island.
Oh man.
Including
Yeah,
once
yeah.
you get there, it stops you. I just doesn't make any sense to me
That's
why they
so
set it up
painful.
like this.
I think I figured out why. I believe, and I could be wrong, but I believe that it's this way and terrible like this because it has to reload the island every time someone leaves or comes to the island because it's all peer-to-peer ran. You are actually using
It's
the
hosting it,
resources
right, on your
hosted
device.
on that person's device
Does
instead
Nintendo
of
have
servers.
any servers at all?
I don't
for
think they
any
do.
online.
I think
This
they
is their
host
way of saving money.
everything. I think it is. I think it is. They host everything on the devices of the people playing. They don't do any servers. If this was hosted on a server farm,
Oh, it'd be instant.
it would be instant.
Yeah.
You log in, you say I want to go to this island, boom, you're on that island. It doesn't bother anyone else that's already on the island. You leave the island whenever you want.
But to be
yeah.
fair, I'm looking at the turnip exchange, which, by the way, my island, when I checked this morning, was buying turnips for like 64 bells a turnip.
Yeah, mine the day that I banked, I was getting $34, 34
Oh my
bells
gosh.
a turnip.
So I'm on the turnip exchange right now, just looking at bell prices. There's one for 546 per turnip,
Jeez.
510,
Yeah.
445,
That totally
579.
that totally makes it worth it though. If
It
your
does.
island is only
So-
buying them for 34, like the economy there, just like duh.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it basically, when you need money, just buy a couple $100,000 of turnips Sunday morning, and then at any time during the week, get on turnip.exchange and spend an hour and a half or however long it takes to go to someone's island, give them a
yeah.
little tip, and make your million plus in bells.
How do you know what they want? Do they list that on the exchange?
It's listed on the
Yeah,
exchange.
so
There's
here,
some that
let
are
me
free,
put it
though,
up so you can
so-
see it. So this is what the website looks like. Owen, go ahead and describe it for him. What does it look like?
It looks like a message board that
Yeah, it
you
looks
find in like some community service center.
Yep, a real life message board with thumbtacks on the
thumbtacks and
notes and
everything.
everything.
So this one right
Crazy.
here, it says no entry fee, but tips would be much appreciated. Been looking for the mush lamps.
Guys,
I don't know
being
what
a
that is.
complete outsider of Animal Crossing, I have no idea what the crap you guys are talking about.
Don't go anywhere near Animal Crossing.
This is all very compelling for me because it's nothing different than cryptocurrency right here. Like this is
Oh,
all
dude.
this is
Owen?
this is the same value as crypto. I'm all in. I'm like, oh man, you could get like four. Like, oh my gosh, there's so like I do the same thing when I look at exchanging cryptocurrencies that are worth like negative cents. You know,
Dude, we would go to Owen's Island and it would just have bags of bells. He would have that as his decoration.
Yeah, because I could see Owen being the guy that spends however much he has on bells every Sunday.
Oh, that's what I'm doing.
And
This
then-
next week, I'm holding on to $1 million, and I'm going to multiple islands throughout
You're going
the week.
for $1 million, huh? I'm
Yeah.
only doing I'm stopping at 400K. I'm gonna do 400K this time.
Dude, you
and
can't stop till you're the first trillionaire. You got to beat Jeff Bezos.
See, that's the
To being
attitude
the
of a
best-
winner right there.
I can't do it. It breaks the game too much for me. I'll use it.
It
I'll
does
use
feel
it
like
to-
cheating a little bit.
Oh yeah, I'll use it to pay off my house loans in the game. But after that,
How many house upgrades are you?
I just bought the second floor, the first second floor.
What? I didn't know there was a second floor.
Yeah, it's 1.2 million bells to get a second
Whoa.
floor on your house.
Yeah, I
I don't
only
know.
have
I don't
two
know if
extra
there's
rooms
more
right
after
now.
that. So you get 3 extra rooms and then a second floor.
Does your main floor get any bigger?
No, so the first upgrade is a bigger main room,
Yeah.
and then the second upgrade is another room attached to the back. Third upgrade is a room attached to the left side, I believe. Fourth upgrade is a room attached to the right side. Fifth upgrade is another big room, so basically a second floor that's the same size.
Does
as
your house
first
outside
floor
get
main
any
room.
bigger?
Nah, not that I've noticed anyway.
Dang it.
It's a TARDIS situation.
Bigger on the inside.
Yeah.
How do you have your rooms laid out?
Oh, I'm
like
a
a
terrible
bathroom?
decorator. I have my stuff in my main room. I still haven't even bought a real bed. I use a cot still.
Are you serious?
Yeah, one room has an oarfish, a chair, and a mantis head on the wall. Another room has
Wow.
my toilet and
Do you know what the toilet's actually for in the game?
yeah, if you eat fruit
Yeah.
and you don't want to and you want
sit
to
on the
break
toilet, he
rocks,
poops it out.
Yeah, he poops it out because if you eat fruit and go to hit a rock, it'll break the rock and you won't be able to mine
What
from it
the
anymore.
crap?
Literally. Literally.
Tony, when are you gonna let me come to your island, dude? I want to see how you
anytime
decorate
you
it.
want, man. It's
Does Megan
terrible.
play it?
Oh yeah, her island's way better than mine.
All right, I want her friend code.
Yeah, mine's honestly my island is you'll get to it and be like, this looks
Like it just.
Have you guys?
this looks like you
terraforming
just
yet?
got here, except there's some houses.
I just wonder what Nintendo's thinking. I mean, they got two options. They're just sitting there and going, "Wow, we really didn't beta test this," or two, they're going, "How do we stop them from breaking the game and making? Do we care?" Like, I just wonder what
Yeah.
some
No.
developer
You know what?
on
There's
is
no going back.
Nintendo-
The only way to stop this would be to stop
Yeah.
turnip traveling.
Yeah.
Nintendo's
right, exactly.
sitting on top of a pile of cash and a pile of freaking face masks.
Yeah, and
dude.
they don't care.
They have sold. I remember reading in the first like 3 weeks of this Animal Crossing game, it sold more copies of Animal Crossing than all of the other Animal Crossings combined.
Yeah,
That was
And on top of that-
that was situational though, right? Because like
partly.
Oh yeah,
partly
total
for
Stockholm syndrome. But it isn't the Switch still the #1 selling console in the country right now too? Even
I think
still?
so. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's also the newest console that's for sale right now. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
but I also
So.
yeah, that's true.
But
Dude, 599, 603. Dude, freaking Wednesday night is the night to hold off for. Holy crap, dude. There's so many.
look at all the bells. All right. Anything else you guys want to? Oh, James. Let's have James's
I got
games real
James's
quick.
Gameses.
And then if there's anything else you guys want to talk about after that, we'll hit on it. And if not, we'll save
Okay.
it for next week.
Slightly perturbed at the listeners. Nobody's tweeted at me. They're their Gameses. But you know what? Whatever. We're on 1989. Owen, give me a flashback from 1989.
I was 9.
All right. So, first up, in no particular. Actually, really quick, Jarron, because we need some audience participation. What is James's Gameses?
His top 5 games for every year of his life.
Yes, there it is. You've stayed on brand all show, and I respect that.
Well, I think he was getting a little better, and then we started talking about Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
You lost me.
And
like-
then before that, we talked about the that loser that was only getting 210 days in jail for all of his child porn. So
Yeah, that human.
that was
garbage.
a bummer too.
All right, so back to James's Gameses. Bringing it back up. 1989. Owen was 9. Tony was 13. All
I
right,
was
first
4.
up, sure. First up, Super Mario Land on Game Boy Advance. Okay, Super Mario Land.
Game Boy Advance didn't exist back
You
then.
mean
Or
just
sorry,
Game Boy?
Game Boy. Yeah, I don't know why I have
Oh,
GBA.
all right.
Yeah, Super Mario Land, dude. That game was the very first game I ever beat. Ever.
Wow.
Yeah, that game is awesome. Super Mario Land. They need more of those. Some of the weirdest enemies, different ways of playing, and airplanes, and I don't know, doesn't matter. So, after that, SimCity on PC. Very first SimCity.
Wow, that's a great game.
Right? I don't know if you said that with sarcasm.
No,
but
no,
I'm
it,
taking
it was a great game. I played the heck out of that game.
Still have no idea if you're using sarcasm.
I'm-
DuckTales on Game Boy.
What? Really?
No, why do I have GBA? DuckTales on Nintendo? That was on Nintendo, right?
It had to
The
have been
NES?
NES. I don't think Super NES was out yet.
I don't
it
think
wasn't.
that's that year. I'm going to delete that. That's stupid. Okay, so we're back to SimCity on PC. We're only doing 4 this year. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the arcade
Ah,
cabinet.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that was shell shock.
That is a Chuck E. Cheese staple. Literally dozens of dollars spent on that game.
Remember that story about me taking $100?
Yeah.
This was also on that list of games that I played a lot of that day. Teenage
Golden
Mutant Ninja-
Axe and
and TMNT.
TMNT.
Shell shocked.
And then TMNT on Nintendo. Remember the one that they all have the red bandana eye things? Remember
That's how it was in the comic book originally. They all had the same color.
Did you watch the Toys That Made Us, the edition where they actually talk about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? Dude, it's good. They didn't make nothing at the beginning.
Also a good game. The one on Nintendo. It was on Nintendo, or was it on PC?
It was on Nintendo.
Yeah, it was. I remember that was a strategy game, like puzzle game.
I need to go back because there's a couple of games on this list from my childhood that I don't remember the names of them, but they were the kind of games where it looked kind of like Pitfall on
Yeah.
what was that? Atari, but you would type in like open door, ask whatever. I forget
Oh,
what
that
those
sounds
games are
like
called.
a LucasArts game.
Yeah, drop key, and it was a space game.
E.T.
No.
No.
Oh, it's in the desert in Arizona somewhere underneath a lot of cement.
I played the heck out of E.T. too.
Is it? Did that game hold up? Was it pretty bad?
E.T. was
E.T.?
pretty awful. E.T.
Yeah.
was pretty awful. Pretty awful.
I thought that's unanimously like the worst game ever.
I think it sold really poorly, and then people kind of just accepted that once Nintendo kind of
Buried
ditched it, buried it, literally.
You mean Atari?
Atari, yeah, the Atari. It was the Atari one, right?
Yeah.
And so they buried it, and then people just kind of jumped on and said, yeah, it was terrible. It was worth burying. And now it's become this cult classic. People go out to dig in the desert for.
Would
And,
not get anyone in the desert.
New Mexico, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's
So we
the
got
end of my list.
So we've got some timely space news coming up.
I thought James's
this
games
week.
was last.
He said we were going to
I
add
said
one
if
more
there's
thing.
anything else you wanted to talk about.
Oh,
So it's Virgin Orbit. That's the Virgin Airlines space program.
why was I thinking it's Virgin Galactic?
That's
I
a
don't
different
know.
one. But it's
Is
the
it?
same company, different branch.
Yeah. So Virgin Orbit, their idea is to do they're using their planes, their big 747s or whatever they are, to fly the rocket up really high in the sky and then release it, thus saving fuel and energy. They call it the assist.
Big rocket go room.
The jet assist program. And so they're actually going to be firing a test this week on the 24th or the 25th, depending on weather conditions.
Over
and-
which major city?
I don't know. They'll probably do it out over Cape Canaveral. I don't know.
Oh, we don't need most of Florida, so that's fine.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it'll be in Texas. I didn't read where they're actually doing over, but there'll probably be some live stream is what I'm getting at. But it's pretty different because they're going to be firing this rocket. Obviously, if they've got it strapped to the bottom of a plane that they're going to decouple and let it fall away, it's going to be firing from a horizontal position. And nobody's ever tried to ignite jet fuel, rocket fuel, I should say, from a horizontal position.
Oh.
And so this is kind of a Virgin test, if you will,
From firing in a horizontal position.
From Virgin Orbit.
from the missionary position. Anyway, so
That was straightforward. Not even
yeah.
available, but
but anyway, so the quote in the article, my favorite one is this could go well or could go spectacularly wrong. So if you like watching space stuff blow up, you've got a pretty fair odds here to go check that out. So maybe tune in and see if you can find the live stream of that somewhere this week. It's happening or this next week, right? So yeah, that's the only thing I had that was kind of timely that I didn't want people to miss.
Cool.
So it's this Sunday or Monday.
Going back to what James was saying about the guy walking around that you type the words and he does the things, I think you're referring to Hugo games.
I'm going to look into it.
Hugo's House of Horrors.
Hugo game.
Hugo's Hugo
Is that-
3 Jungle of Doom. You know, those ones. Hugo 2 was Hugo... Where'd that go? Hugo
I'm gonna-
2 Who Done It. Not LucasArts like I thought at first. Something called Gray Design Associates.
Maybe.
Anyway,
I'm going to look into it a little bit just because...
because you're curious.
Super curious.
Jarron, was there anything else you wanted to hit on?
Nope.
All right.
We should do a promo for next week's show. Next week on the Gadget Spot, James's Games is 1990.
I was 10.
Yes!
It's really easy. My age has always been super easy to calculate, being a 1980 kid.
Easy. Just like Owen. All right. Well, thanks for making it to the end. This was a long episode, guys. We went about almost an hour and a half.
If you guys want, if you listeners want to play, as soon as we get done recording the podcast, I might hop on Modern Warfare for a game or two.
Yep, so
Except
find out
listeners
24
won't hear it.
hours after.
So if anybody's a time traveler, hop on, and this is your time to shine, bud.
I swear
do
we
have-
tell you this every time.
I do have Modern Warfare now and Xbox Game Pass.
Hey,
Ultimate.
there you go.
Well, I don't
And
know if I want to play with you because Tony has lied to me almost every week.
We played last week.
I'm probably going to play Metro.
Did we though?
Anyway.
Yeah, we did. Jarron even played for a bit.
Yep, I was there.
So one of the great things about recording the podcast a little bit later is that my wife puts the kids to bed.
My
And so when the podcast is over, when we wrap here, it's kind of like gaming time.
There you go.
all
So-
four of us should hop on a game
Gonna
with
play
the time
Metro.
traveler.
Gonna play Metro.
Come on, just play.
Say that right now.
Come on, just
I
play a
gotta-
game with me. Just play one game. One game,
I'll do
Owen.
that. I'll do that later.
I got to figure out my network issues.
Just put them back in the box and send them back.
I'm tempted.
Not worth the hassle.
Yeah.
And I mean, already
What
what
if you got
described,
broken hardware, dude?
Already what you described, just to be able to turn off QoS, having to use Telnet. Bleh.
I'm
Send
gonna
them
have
back.
I'm gonna have a bowl of ice cream.
Go get the how much were they? $450 for the mesh. Go look at the HP
Yep.
Arubas. Go look into HP Arubas like $350.
Dude, speaking of Roomba, I saw
IAP 315s or
Yeah,
325s.
But those are $300 plus a piece.
Yikes.
Speaking of Roombas, I saw a Hasavara
Jaren's
lawn
got it.
cutter Roomba this weekend. It was awesome.
Ooh, the Husqvarna.
Yeah,
I
that's
saw-
how you say it.
I saw one of those, and I climbed up on this hill to watch it mow somebody's yard, and they thought I was the weirdest thing because I got out my phone and recorded it. This was like 2 years ago, or a year and a half ago.
I think I would agree with him.
They're like, "What is that strange man doing?" I'm like, "That is so cool! Look at that robot! That Roomba is cutting the grass." Because I really, really, really hate mowing, and so then they put a fence up. I don't know if that was. I tell myself it was because of me, but I know it's probably just because they wanted a fence. But
Oh, I'm
I'd
sure
spend
you were a
thousands of
factor.
dollars to lock
Yeah.
I
you
feel like
out.
you're a self-hating narcissist right now.
yeah, they're like, what a strange man, right?
That doesn't make any sense. A self-hating narcissist.
I am literally the end of the universe. If you can understand that. See, a self-hating narcissist is an oxymoron.
Pretty soon you're gonna start folding in on yourself.
I'm gonna leave.
Fold yourself 21 times.
I'm gonna.
Yep.
All right, I want to play some Modern Warfare. Let's wrap it up, guys. Come on,
Okay.
let's do it.
You're the one that keeps this going. So yeah, we're
I
all
don't know
done.
what you're talking about.
See,
what are you
you're
talking-
doing it. You're doing it again.
No, I'm
Goodbye,
not.
guys.
I think subconsciously I hate myself.
Probably.
Can that be my sign off?
I think I might be supraconsciously, actually. All right. Thanks for listening. Catch us next week when we do 1990.
I think
James's Gameses.
I think sometimes I hate myself.
Thanks for the download, and we appreciate you.
We've had better.
Yeah. Owen, why don't you take
Hey.
us out?
Hey, we hope you care.
Gadget Spot.